What's up, everybody? I'm Marcus.
I'm Orion.
And together we are the Northwest Sports Fanatics. Today we just want to go over the Eastern Conference Finals here. The series is tied at 3-3. Game 7 Monday in South Beach. The Pacers held serve with a 91-77 victory in Game 6. What are some of the things that you've seen the Pacers do well to get that victory there?
I thought George Hill had a nice bounce-back game, 16.6 assists. That was really key. And Hibbert and George had 52 points and 19 rebounds, solidified the inside and the outside game. What do you think?
For me, of course, it all starts with Roy Hibbert, the big man. He's unstoppable down there. The Heat doesn't have the size to match up with him. 24 and 11 rebounds. Paul George also had another solid, spectacular all-around game. 28 points, 8 rebounds, 5 assists. And also they held the Heat to 36% shooting for the whole game. And when you do that, that's more times than not, you're going to come up with a victory there. Now, for the Heat, what are some of the things that you took away from Game 6 for the Heat?
I thought LeBron James had a good game. 29 points, 7 rebounds, 6 assists. But the supporting cast was really non-existent. They didn't come to play. Besides Mike Miller with a couple three-pointers in that fourth quarter, and they didn't continue to give him the ball to maybe get them a little bit closer. I think that was a real a sour note for them. What do you think?
For me, of course, LeBron, 29 points, but nobody else had more than 10 points. Wade 3 for 11, 10 points. Bosh 1 for 8, 5 points. And when those two superstars of the big three put out those type of performances, I think it's going to be very hard for them to win. Now, also, Mike Miller gave them kind of a spark with Battier struggling and the small ball not working because, the Heat are best when they put Shane Battier in there and they go small with LeBron at the 4, but he's struggling and the Pacers' size is kind of getting, and it's leaving Battier there on the bench. So for Game 7, what are some of your things that you think the NBA and the Pacers must do to move on to the NBA Finals?
I think they're going to have to not play passive. They're going to have to play aggressive. All starting five have to get into double figures. And I think a real key stat is foul trouble. They're going to make sure that George Hill and Stevenson don't get those 2 quick early fouls to send them to the bench. Because when they do, you notice there's a huge drop-off from the starters and then to obviously the bench players that they put in. What do you think?
For me, of course, you got to continue to ride the big man, Roy Hibbert. Like you mentioned, Paul George has to stay out of foul trouble. And also a key for me is George Hill. He has to have another spectacular game like he did in Game 6. Now, what are some of your thoughts on the Heat going into Game 7?
I think the Heat with that crowd, Birdman will be coming back, so they know they'll have him with that energy. But LeBron needs to be King James and play like he usually does, which he will. But I think the key factor will be either Bosh and Wade or Chalmers and Haslam need to come to play and give you everything they got. Probably combined for at least 24 for them to get that victory. What do you think?
For me, of course, they got the best player in the planet in LeBron James. The obvious choice is Wade and Bosh. They have to do more scoring to help LeBron out there. Also, I keep an eye on Mike Miller. The closeout game last year in the NBA Finals, he hit 8 threes. So I think he's going to play a huge part here. Also, Chalmers, he does play big in big games. So also look out for him as well.
All right, in Game 7 prediction as we move forward, what do you think the prediction for Game 7 is going to be?
My prediction for Game 7, I did pick the Heat in 6, so they kind of messed me up there. So I'm going to go Heat in 7. I look for them to win by 10 points or more. They're going to come out defensively ready to play, offensively get the ball movement going. Also, another player that I think keep an eye out on for is Ray Ray. Jesus, come on, where are you?
And then for me, I picked Heat in 7, and it looks like it may come true. I still think the Heat are going to win. I think it'll be a little bit closer than people think, though, by 10 or less. And I think the key may be Birdman, Battier, or Ray Allen. One of them may come alive and give them a little spark as we move forward and obviously go to June 6th for that NBA Finals against the Spurs.
All right. Thank you guys for tuning in. You can follow me on Twitter, _NWSF.
And Orion at _NWSF as well on Twitter as a hashtag.
All right. And also on Facebook.com/Northwest Sports Fanatics. We appreciate all the love and support out there from you guys.
Northwest Sports Fanatics.